All right, good morning. Welcome to another Friday morning safety meeting. Today is the 24th of April. Just a reminder, if you're driving through any of the pits, especially River Road or Bushy Pit, make sure you're going 10 miles an hour, especially with us getting into the dustier season. It can help keep the dust down, keep everybody safe. We are 50 days or 55,000 man hours without a recordable injury, 50 days with or 55,000 man hours without a first aid injury, and 21 days or 23,000 man hours without a vehicle incident. Today we're talking about inclement or extreme weather. Flash flooding, we'll start with. It kills 100 or more Americans every year. A lot of times this is people that drive through the flooded water. So they'll see, oh, the water doesn't look that high. Well, the water isn't that high really, but the road's washed out underneath and their cars will sink and they'll float away. It can also just cause a lot of damage to vehicles. We've had vehicles damaged from this in the past. Water can rise really quickly. So if you get an alert for flash floods on your phone and you're in a flood prone area, make sure that you're getting to high ground with yourself, your family, your vehicles, etc. Be mindful of any stored products that you might have on site that could be a contaminant to what's downstream. So try to keep stuff that could be a hazardous material downstream up away from where it could flood. So got out of order. Extreme weather events occur across the Northeast multiple times per year. Severe weather can pose a threat to workers, vehicles, equipment, and the environment. Monitoring weather reports and creating a plan for weather if it becomes extreme is very important. And be especially careful while responding to emergency work. If we're going to where it's all flooded out, make sure the roads are good. If you encounter high winds, you want to make sure you secure job sites for loose objects that could become projectiles. Avoid hauling loads likely to tip in windy conditions. Avoid hoisting objects with equipment during high winds. Do not lift materials like plywood, as injuries can occur. Don't use mobile elevated work platforms and seek shelter as needed. And when I say carrying objects, don't carry a sheet of plywood and or anything that could be a sail, because that can tweak your back, it can blow you over, it can do all sorts of stuff, and the object will fly away. So Phil sent me over the chart for cranes and high winds, but just to keep everything simple, keep loads close to the ground, make sure you use taglines, which you should anyway, to secure loads in transit, restrict picks from large surface areas, sheets, gang forms, large precasts, etc., and anything over 30 miles an hour winds, stop all operations. And there's a chart right here, and it kind of gives what different wind conditions consist of. So moderate breeze would be dust and loose papers raised. Small branches begin to move, and then you want to start reducing your picks beyond that. So if you have a fresh breeze, that's branches of a moderate size move. Small trees and leaves begin to blow away. Strong breeze is large branches in motion, whistling heard overhead wires. Umbrella use becomes difficult, and empty plastic bins tip over. And anything beyond that, we want to stop hoisting anything with any equipment because it can become dangerous. So as well, he sent me the 30-30 rule for lightning and cranes, and I thought this was good for everything. So thunder under 30 seconds of lightning, stop for 30 minutes. Um, just make sure that we have our weather apps and stuff on our phone, make sure that we're tracking lightning activity, set alerts as needed. We want to lower boom though in case of lightning and exit the cab and seek shelter. Obviously, vehicles are one of the best places that we can seek shelter. And just one more that just can be expensive as a company is hail. In rare events, hail can become dangerous to people, but generally it's more just destructive to property. If hail is predicted, park vehicles inside or cover them if possible to minimize damage. Driving during hail events can cause additional damage over being still. Stop sharing.
Yeah, thanks, Tom. Yeah, we're seeing a lot more rain events and heavy isolated thunderstorms each year. It seems to be more frequently. So top of radar. Got any questions for regarding what you should do? Just give us a call. We can talk it through. Again, trust that gut instinct. If you need to shut it down, let's shut it down. Wait it out.
Scary stuff.
especially the lightning.
We had a 1-ton get charged up by after a lightning strike. So it gave a static discharge to one of our guys, Matt Friedrich, over at IBM. And it blew him we saw him fly like 10 feet through the air, and then we had to call the ambulance. And they took him to the hospital. But it was after the lightning had struck, and he wanted to get in the truck because it started pouring.
Mm-hmm.
Never seen that before. It was like a static discharge. Pretty scary.
Yep.
Okay, is my screen now sharing?
We have it.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks, guys. Code of conduct item of this week is to start on time for everything that you do. And if you're not going to make it on time, as Matt would say, don't compromise safety, just call ahead. But don't
Right.
make a habit of it every day. That's not meaning that it's okay to call ahead every single day. Okay, this week we're going to talk a little bit about communication. Now, I just want to let you know that disrespectful communication is not acceptable. And this is in no way condoning disrespectful communication, but sometimes it happens. Bad communication costs us a lot of money because it directs our attention away from the work, and it causes a bunch of drama that everyone has to work with. So one aspect of this communication thing is when you get affected in a way that overwhelms your ability to do your work because you take things super personally. So I'll read this one through to you. This is about when someone is trying to get things done and they speak a little harsh, and then someone gets disarmed by their words and they don't think about what the person is really trying to get across. It's just one aspect of communication. Not saying that it's right, but it happens. And it costs us a lot of money when we're disarmed by someone else's communication and we create a bunch of drama. And then it's about the person rather than the thing we should be focused on. So we all communicate differently. And when someone's passionate about getting things right, their message sometimes comes across as harsh. It's easy to take it personally and get distracted from our mission. So you need to focus on the intent behind the message rather than the delivery and make it about the thing, not the person. You look for the underlying issue that's being raised and try to make it about what we're trying to improve or achieve. You always want to engage directly and address the issue, work towards a solution of the issue itself, but also let others know how their words were taken and try to deal with that one-on-one if you can. And if you can't, get us involved and we'll help. The other people that are disrespectful sometimes are unaware because they're so strongly focused on an issue. A lot of times that could have to do with our priorities of safety or quality or even getting things done. And sometimes when other people are trying to keep the production going or keep people safe, somebody might yell at you and tell you to get out of the damn way. And it might not feel very good, but it might save your life. So there are times when it's hard for people to control how they say and do things. Remember that some of the most capable and high-performing teammates that you have, they don't always have the strongest communication style, but we have to appreciate them for what they get done for us. It doesn't reduce their contributions to the company. So be aligned, be committed to communicating with respect and professionalism. Expect it from each other. Deal with it one-on-one when you can, and when you can't, address the issue because we need to let our code of conduct, our mission, and our priorities guide how we work together, solve problems, and help each other to improve. So thanks for focusing on the work and helping each other. And it's going to make a big difference for all of us if we can reduce drama and increase quality communication. Something that a lot of us deal with more than we should have to. We should be focused on getting things done safe, right, and as quick as we can so we can make money. So thanks for listening to that. And next I'm gonna have Ken Furno I'm going to invite Ken to discuss his piece that he put together for us. It's about a custom dump truck that we're having built. Ken, are you on?
I'm with you.
Ken's very excited about this truck. So is everybody.
When a company invests $250,000 in something, it's hard not to be excited. So, this custom dump truck was kind of a truck that came up from a lot of needs over last summer. One of them, truck's going to be Unit 469. Pretty much we're calling it Rocky, but Pat doesn't like that we name trucks. So it's 469. It's designed to load, haul, dump erosion stone up to 4 foot into the body and minimize the abuse as much as possible. The truck's going to utilize lower sides, a 42-inch side, which does a couple things. It helps the excavator swings, but it also lowers how far the crash is if you do decide to load this with a loader. Hopefully they're padding the bottom, but it will lower it from instead of trying to bring it up over like a 50-inch side. We're going to utilize a triaxle dump truck chassis with a setback front end. Gives us a couple options. It helps us utilize that big, heavy 20,000-pound front end, and it also cuts the turning radius back a little bit. It makes the truck so it'll go in tighter spots that we noticed that we needed to do last year on some of the bridge work and some of the erosion stone needs. Having a dump truck like this is easier for an excavator to dig out of. It's going to have a 48-inch tailgate in the back. With that heavy floor, it should resist dents, and doesn't mean we can beat on it as hard as we can with the teeth, but it means it should resist a lot of the denting. We've learned that the 450 hard ox is designed to flex a little bit. And actually, we learned as we were building the body for this truck that bracing on the bottom, there's a certain amount that is good. Too much is bad, because you want the floor to flex a little bit so it doesn't kink. The tailgate's design is just like Eric Rossier's truck. It's designed to open conventionally, and then it has the barn door feature, which we found with Eric's truck is amazing for a lot of situations, and it gets to be in high demand. So not sure if it's the truck or Eric, but one of the two is in high demand. So I would say it's probably a combination of both of them. So it's going to help us with the objects like the erosion stone, big hunks of concrete, the stumps, and things like that. We put on lower profile tires on the thing. It's utilizing an 11/22/5 drive tire, which will help trying to get some more of the height down. We ran into situations like down in Burlington City. I remember out on one of Greg Farr's projects where we get into height issues where these big triaxle dump trucks are just simply too high and the buckets are getting into the wires. So we tried to get this sides of this down to try to maybe minimize a little bit of that. Our goals for the project were, first off, safety always. We wanted something dependable. We wanted something durable. We were looking for the lowest cost possible. The easiest to maintain. That's why you're going to notice it's not like some of the 13-liter diesel engines where they push the engine back into the cab with a doghouse, and those are just a bear to work on. We want to make sure this is in DOT compliance with multiple states. So the truck is actually, you'll notice that all the air control cabs are on the outside, which goes with the New York infrastructure friendly rules. Our goal on this truck was a 34,000-pound weight. We wanted it short as possible, maneuverable, and we're looking for 16-yard capacity. And then obviously the lowest cost without compromising these goals. The chassis we're utilizing is a chassis that I was not able to beat with every manufacturer I talked to. This was done by Pat and his group. This chassis was not beatable price wise and all the features it had. So you're utilizing a 2027 International HX 620. It's coming out of Allegiance. It's going to have a 5 1/4 Cummins 15-liter engine. It's going to utilize the 4700 Allison automatic, which gives you a couple speeds in reverse, a lot more durable. It's got the 20,000 pound steer axle. It's going to have the 20,000 pound lift, which is steerable to meet New York infrastructure friendly rules. The 46,000 Hendrickson, which we're starting to see is a really good suspension system. The double lockers. One of the things for me is to try to get a minimum of 100 gallons on. And when you shorten these chassis up, that is a bear because of the emission systems to have enough frame space to actually add fuel tanks. So we're able to get 100 gallons on board. We talked about the 22.5 rubber. The truck is on all aluminum, and that was a weight saving measure because of the heavy body. Single axle frame rail to try to keep the corrosion down. It's a heavy single, and it's set up with a tractor package so it can pull Pindle. The body came from Viking. You know, is a Bowrock heavy duty body. Very few people were interested in this project, and Viking stood up, and actually two companies stood up to help us. Viking came out with the best price at the end. They're utilizing the Bowrock 17-foot body. It's got 42 sides, the 48-inch tailgate. We have a half-inch AR 450 Hardox floor, and 3/8 sides, 450 Hardox. It has a 1/4-inch headboard with 500 Hardox, but the angles they have to bend to get around the tunnel, you're not able to utilize the thicker metals. So if we end up, we might have to armor that in the future. And it's like we talked about, the tailgate has twin functions, and the truck is at Viking currently. They just are finishing up, and I snapped these pictures of it, and the body should be on its way up to TDI to get paint, and should be seeing it in the fleet within the next few weeks. Anybody got any questions?
It's kind of cool to use something new that's built to take the abuse that we put it through, rather than finding our oldest, most rusty truck to put rocks in. It's kind of, we used to just find the old stuff to put rocks in, and then what happens then, we get out on the road and we get caught by DOT, and that's not good, right, Ken?
It actually happened last summer, and we actually had a hired truck that thought he could do the big rock, and he survived 3 hours, and then he ran for his life. And we ended up grabbing old 496 and brought it up there, and as luck would have it, that poor truck's a 2001, and it had an issue and got in a DOT check and got us our only out of service last year, which
Yeah.
we're trying to improve our record, and that was kind of sad because we had done so well to improve it. So, but our record is getting very good. So
The other thing I think is the barn door tailgate system, and I got some pictures from Eric Rossier that he gave me yesterday, and I'll share those next week, just so if anyone hasn't seen the way the barn doors work, boy, I'll tell you, when you're trying to put something heavy in the back, or you got a small machine, Eric gave me some pictures that just shows how handy it is to not have to pick stuff over that body. So
we do
We'll
have
share-
another truck in the fleet that just came online, 979, that instead of having the barn actually has the high lift. So
high lift. Yep.
those are Eric's 451 truck and 979 are definitely the go-to trucks when we're doing big stumps and things that we need to get out of a gate. So
Yep. Good for the guys to
Rose
know.
utilized the high lift last week and on some stumps. So
Cool. Well, thanks, Ken. Any other questions on the truck? We'll get an updated picture when it gets put together the rest of the way. Thank you, Ken. Okay. Next Friday, we've got 401k meetings. Just let Aaron or Samantha know. Their numbers are here. And if you want to talk about your 401k, do any changes, or look at how it's invested, and look at what you have taken out every week, let them know, and you can get an appointment with Laura next week. She'll be here on site. Dragon Boat is happening again. Sarah Wallen has given me a nice little advertisement for anyone that wants to join a team for the Dragon Boat. Sarah does this She's been doing it for several years. She's on a team. They need 16 people for a team. There's a $60 fee, which is $375 for each person. Each paddler has a $75 fundraising commitment. And we know that we've helped Sarah with that in past years, and we will again. But the duties or the dates that you got to commit to is July 25 and 26, which is a practice weekend where you get in there and learn how to be coordinated and paddle that boat. And then there's also a practice that weekend. They're not sure what the day or time of that is, but festival day is going to be in August 9th. So give Sarah a call. She gives us her cell phone number and her email. Probably everyone knows how to get a hold of Sarah. If you got questions about the 2026 Lake Champlain Dragon Boat Festival, give Sarah a call. She knows all the details on that. It's a great thing that they do out there every year. We also have our first annual spring turkey season pool. Matt Zaganowitz, he announced this a couple of weeks ago. We've got the rules and the information here. $20 fee, and there is a link. I don't know if you want to use it for something else. The Venmo link is to give Matt Zaganowitz money. So if you want to give it to him for coffee or whatever, you can probably use that link and he'll probably accept it. But let Matt know if you got any questions on that. We have a new baby, Katie Knapp. She had a baby boy. His name is Cooper. That's his sister Ellie holding him. I heard that he was a big boy. I think someone said he was like 9 pounds. Good looking guy, and it looks like he's got some construction equipment on his little sleepy there. So congratulations to Katie and welcome Cooper. Promotions this winter or this spring. We've got one, Sean Bushy. He's back. Say hi to him if you haven't seen him all winter, but Sean's back in a new role. He's been promoted to superintendent. So he'll be mainly on the milling and sometimes the grading and what he usually does, but being in a higher level role as superintendent, he's worked hard for it, and we're excited to see how he does in his new role. So congratulate Sean when you see him. New employee, Brandon Potter, operating foreman. He started earlier this week. We met him on Monday. Sorry, my thing is going slow here. So this week we featured some different things that we did this winter, and a lot of this came from a PowerPoint that Ben McKinney put together for us a while back that we presented to our board, and I reconfigured it a little bit and wanted to just feature some of the projects that we did this winter. And thank you to Ben who put this together for me. It's busy season now. We made a big decision or a deliberate decision to keep a strong workforce in place. We wanted to keep people working. We didn't want to lay people off that didn't want to be laid off. We did a great deal of important work to ensure that we're really prepared for the upcoming season. We invested time and resources into repairing and improving facilities, tools, and equipment, and these investments are going to pay off as the demand for our work increases. More importantly, it was your effort, your initiative, and your commitment that made this progress possible. Thank you for your dedication, and your work has positioned us to hit the ground running. Here are some highlights that I have here. And thanks to Ben for these pictures. We did bucket maintenance, attachment maintenance, paint and body work on a couple of, especially the trucks that we bought. We got a good price, but they were white, so we made them blue. The guys in the shop did a great job on a lot of the different things that they did. Truck and equipment overhauls you see here. The guys rebuilt those form cages so that we've got those all structurally sound again. Anyone that's been in the 99 yard out back, it got it reclaimed and graded and smoothed out. It looks really awesome now. If you're around the concrete yard, they did work on the lean-to, and I've never seen rebar dowels that neat. It looks like they're all organized and neat, so when they need them, they can grab a hold of them. It looks neat, clean, and professional. We talked about this a few weeks back. We built the shipping container offices, which are really sharp and good looking. Did a bunch of organizing. We did get rid of a lot of junk that we've had around here for years. You know, all those rings and plates from years gone by that we just kind of saved because we thought we would use them again. We ended up scrapping a lot of that, and we'll get money for the steel, and it just freed up a lot of room out back. Another cool thing that you all might not know about is we produced over 8,000 cubic yards of manufactured topsoil up at the Bushy Pit. And anybody guess what the value of that is? It's almost $250,000 worth of topsoil that we created there. It's pretty good. They did some work on the rebuilding the diesel hammer. And there it is on the 750, which is, you'll see in a minute. But they rebuilt it and tested it before mobilizing it for its use this year. There's the 750 de-ECI'd because we've got our new crane now, and the guys got this one ready to sell. And if you go on Crane Trader and you look, it's probably I think it's the best looking 750 on there. And I actually looked at it and wanted to buy it, but we already own it. Been a good crane for us, but we've got an upgrade. We did yard cleanup. We built that tent that you see on the left. Remember, those things were all coming apart, and they're still doing some work even over in where the drilling stuff is. It looks really great out there. We've got that lumber recycling area, which is right out behind the newly cleaned up paving area, which I don't have a picture of, but just outside the gate on the left. Looks really great. We've got engine swaps, frame rebuilds. There's a picture of our young estimator. He's a future estimator here at ECI, but we did a lot of estimating this winter, and just the teams that came in and helped us bid a lot of this work that we have was incredible. Having the people that do the work in here looking over these jobs, I think we do a really great job. We've honed in our bidding. And I'll say, I didn't put it in writing, but I'll say we have probably the most backlog of work that we've ever had. I think it's approaching $100 million worth of backlog, which is pretty cool. We did a lot of cleaning. There's some guys in the shop. There's some rail equipment in the background and some other stuff that looks like one of the mixers. And we've got more rebar cage rebuilds, man basket rebuilds. We did a lot of salvaging and selling of some of the older equipment. A couple of drills. Trying to get some money back out of some of that old stuff rather than let it rot out back. Here's a cool project. Everyone was working on stuff. This was Jacob Mashed here I happened into the paving shop there one day, and I was pretty impressed by the shop guys helped him on this project, I think, a little bit. It looks like a complete bottom of one of the trailers getting rebuilt. I think we'll get some use out of that. I haven't seen it since that day, but I'm sure that it's almost up and running. We did training. A lot of training this winter, different types. Some of the rail stuff, some of the mud school, which was cool. Welder certs. A lot of these jobs we require certifications on a lot of the things that we build. So doing that in-house is good. did some office trailer renovation. And anyone that's been in to get bagels this morning sees that thanks to Jeremy Dean and Sarah Wallen, who helped put this project together. Between the two of those, they made this happen. It looks a lot better. It's set right here at 98, and it's really nice. The sticky notes are meant to train us so we know where things are. We also worked on a bunch of paint jobs. I don't have them all in here. I'm sorry if I left your job out, but we've got the Camp Precast job that we featured a while back. There's the new crane down in Cavendish. That's a really cool project. We'll get a feature on that upcoming in one of the upcoming projects so you guys can see what we're doing down there. But Brad and the guys are kicking butt down there. That's a pretty cool project. We're actually still on that. Exit 17 signs. And there's District 6 garage down in Berlin. Clyde Allen. And of course, I didn't want to leave. I had to put this one in. We did a lot of snow removal, a lot of paying stuff this winter. From the archives, something that Ronnie Johnson probably would want to, is it going to get, maybe remember 2008. I don't know if he helped us on this or not, but this is 2008, the cargo apron concrete that we did. Just found these pictures, and pretty cool how we used the blocks to hold the forms in place. And that was right out on the airfield on the FedEx side. There's the Griswold trucks lining up, and there's a pour going on right there. That was a good job. 2008. There's one of the pads redone, and then there's some blankets on the next pad there, out there on the field. So pretty cool. All right. 7:02. I'm going to turn it back over to Matt. Thanks for your attention.
Yeah, watching a group saying, please send that over to Tom so we can capture that. Most importantly, let's work safe, let's drive safe, and let's have a great day working together.
Thanks, everybody.